All right, so hello everybody. Here is Jason, the Hellenic Roof, and as always, we bring the best guests regarding holistic healthcare here. And I'm not the first, not the last person man that's going to say this, that I'm bringing the best guests, but today is true once again, and we have an interesting man, and even better, we are going to talk a little bit about very interesting subjects involving sauna, involving forests, and involving fun. Having said that, welcome, Olli.
Hey, thanks. It's a pleasure, and yeah, it took us a while to get this arranged, and but you seem to be like a super fun guy and into this stuff, and I haven't seen any Greek podcasts or I don't know if there are many Greek biohackers or if you have a community there, or do you have like anybody who's as crazy as you are? So
we are. It's funny that you say that, because we had the same conversation with Teemu Arina. Do you know him?
Yeah, he's my partner in crime. Like, we have the Biker Center.
Yeah.
Co-founder. He's my co-author. He's my brother. So yeah.
Great guy also. But we had the same talk. How many people in Greece are like us? And there are not many. We might be a handful, maybe 10. That are a little bit cuckoo. Yeah.
Maybe they're in their caves, like.
Yes, they're hiding.
waiting the time to pop up.
Yes, but I have to say, Olli, that we here in Hellas, we in Greece, we have a lot of people that are healthy but are not biohackers. So
yeah.
There are traditional peoples still living that are very healthy, very longevity-wise healthy, but they don't use any, modern technology, medicinal technology, no Aura rings, no weird glasses, of course,
just tell me when we put these on, so.
You are probably the first guy in this podcast that you make me with Teemu also, that you both make me feel good and and feel normal,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you.
yes.
But yeah, what you're talking about are these blue zoners that have a long health span and lifespan, and I've been to Greece multiple times in different islands, also in Athens. I was there actually in a congress, European Obesity Congress, back in 2006. So that was the last time I've been in Athens.
Wow.
But your beautiful islands and especially the Mediterranean area in general is very close to my heart.
Yeah, that's great, man. If you get old and you get cold,
yeah.
you can retire here. By the way, many Germans do that. In Crete, they buy a lot of homes and stay here.
It's a perfect zone to be like. It's kind of like a more healing environment. So
yeah,
compared to Finland, this is more harsh, but we have 4 strict seasons of the year, which I really appreciate. But of course, this darker time of the year, you really build your resilience. You immerse in the cold, you go into hot saunas, you do stuff in the woods, and whatever feels natural, and that's also a good time to connect with more of the roots that we have here, the original roots, the Nordic roots, and
yeah. I think every heritage and every land has something to offer. Some are more harsh, like you said. Some are seem more easy. But even Greece, for example, it may seem to the tourist, if you are a tourist, you may see Greece as a place to relax and everything is happy all the time. But if you go to the winter to the islands, it's a very harsh life, to be honest. A lot of the sea is not very calm. It's windy, especially in the Aegean Islands, and it's cold because of the winds. And there is no real vegetation in many islands, and the water supplies are very low. So it seems to a tourist, oh, that's a paradise, blah blah blah.
It's summer paradise, yeah, but
Summer, yeah, for a month maybe. Yeah, if you don't have any responsibilities. So, yeah. And it's funny because another thing to say and close this chapter of tourism and all that stuff. I was in Germany only for 6 years. I was living in Munich. And when I ask people, how do you find Munich or Germany? They say, oh, it's amazing, blah, blah. It's easy. You were lucky to live there. And in a sense, I was, but the everyday life is different. So if you live all the 4 seasons and especially a couple of years or more, you get the real sense of the place, the real taste.
Yeah.
And you see the hardships and you see the benefits. So I think that every place has in order to respect it, you have to live at least 2 years, in my mind.
That's for sure. And so I cannot really tell. I haven't been living like outside Finland maybe longer than 2 months, so I cannot really tell about anything else than Finland that deep. But of course, like visiting holidays and stuff, except I haven't been traveling in 2 years except to Tallinn, Estonia. But once you go to travel, you really appreciate it. So it's everything that's taken away like momentarily, you grow appreciation for it more. And in this sense, I appreciate even more our home country and Finland, and seeing different places here and enjoying like what it has to offer to us. So because it's so easy to just jump on the plane and go somewhere else.
Yeah, true. That's a very true statement, honestly. Yeah. So before we started recording, we were talking a little bit. We were shooting off a few things about exercise and about cardiovascular health and whatever. And at some point, I was talking to you. I was telling you about a guy that was very relaxed and not stressed, and how that was very beneficial for his heart. And then you told me that you are doing that you were used to do a lot of exercise that was very heavy. Let's say very intense and very frequent probably, and you now take it easier. So why not start with that? What's happening with that?
Well, yeah, of course, once you get older, you begin to appreciate the state of energy you have like throughout the day, and it's not just about grinding. Of course, in your 20s you can do a lot of stuff, and hopefully you recover faster. And but that kind of led me to a situation where I was like on a daily basis I was like severely undercovered. Of course, overtrained. They're not synonymous. You can be overtrained but still cover, but you could be chronically undercovered, like under recovered. And usually it's the stuff that you want to do too many things without having enough rest. So having like rest periods throughout the day, that was something non-existent even like 10 years ago. At some point I just realized why I'm like torturing myself this much just to have like a peak condition, like athletic condition. And I was never going to be like a top athlete, but that was kind of like an addiction also. And then having hard work at being medical, like ER shifts, and I had this ridiculous 5-year period of just going from place to place, and sometimes being on call like 26 hours in a row. And of course it tested my limit, and I never really like completely burned out, but I was like on the verge all the time, and I didn't have the energy to bounce back. So it took me like months and months and months to actually come into this state where I'm finding equilibrium pretty fast. Then of course comes family. You get some kids, and I have a kid. She's now 6 and takes a lot of attention. And I've been, having to attune my life around the family, and that's why I train at home. I have all the stuff there. I train when I feel like it, and of course I do what I like to move. My body requires movement, and that's what we are meant to do. But it doesn't mean having a 2.5-hour CrossFit session with when you torture yourself with all the possible metabolic systems and your nervous system and whatnot, and then have being calorie deprived. So but you learn by trial and error. So now it's more has to be fun. Of course, for example, yesterday I did a really heavy biohacked workout on a vibration plate using X3 bar with blood flow restriction and red light. That was like 4 ailments at the same time. And when I went to bed, I realized, okay, my heart is beating. I went a little bit over the board, and the night wasn't the perfect one. But having flexible schedules, I woke up definitely not recovered. Made some breakfast for my daughter, and take care of her, and brought her to the daycare, and then I went back home. And I usually don't eat any breakfast, but today I ate breakfast with her, and then I went back to sleep, and I slept 2.5 hours more. And after that, I feel also adjusting your life in a way that you can have flexibility, and if you need to have more rest, you can take it. So of course that's not possible for everybody, but it wasn't possible for me for many years until becoming an entrepreneur, quitting, taking patients and so on. But the message here is that you can create the life you want, but you first have to visualize what do you actually want, or even write it down. So it's been a process. You don't go from A to B in many just by snapping your fingers. And your personality also has to do a lot. How you want to experience things. Do you want it to be safe, or are you like me that you want to see your limits? Okay, that was too far. Let's back it up, and then what you tolerate and what's good for you at specific moment of life you're living in.
Wow, that was a great explanation, man. So, yeah, amazing. So, and I didn't even have to ask. So, thank you. So, yeah, more or less, I've seen the same in my life. In my early 20s, I was more into the bodybuilding, blah, blah, blah. And then slightly to the biohacking. I was trying with every tool I had to, maximize things there, maximize things then.
Yeah.
And it was so stressful, even counting calories, honestly, Olli, I don't count calories anymore. And I don't count to be honest, I don't even count my sets and my reps anymore. So maybe I got maybe I got the balance a little bit off to the other scale, to the other, side. But over the past 2 years, I stopped counting calories. I started training with kettlebells more. Maybe I bought also a sandbag from Cerberus Strength from UK, and I went outside. So I did many of my training when the weather is good. I was training since until summer. I was training outside, and it was maybe some of the best 2 years of my life. Even though the country and the regulations and all that stuff, it's always a little bit stressful to the mind. But having that connection with the earth, with the sun. I was barefoot. I was without my shirt on. I was without sunglasses, of course, and I was, doing my exercises, listening to podcasts while I was doing them at the park. So it was some of the best 2 years of my life, and it was that simple. Stop messing around with the calorie and all that stuff. Get simple principles right. So doing that exercise for that time, that many hours per week, eat twice a day. That is the breakfast, then is the dinner. Eat these things, don't eat these things. If you want to eat a sweet once in a while, go for it, don't stress about it. And these things more or less brought me to my best fitness level of all time, much better than back in the day when I was 10 years younger and I was messing around with, calories and three sets
Protein.
of 15. Yeah, protein.
172 grams of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
1 gram is excess, it's 172.
Oh man. I've been there,
Yeah.
done that, but I'm not going to back there because, as you said, you have a family. I don't have a family yet. I want to have children, many children. Imagine being a father and have to really count all that stuff and stress about all that stuff. I mean, it's madness. It doesn't make any sense, and the time isn't there in the day to do that. Really, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's it's that's kind of a shocker. You have like your maybe like dreams and some kind of expectations what it is to be a father or a mother, but it comes with like in your face, and that suddenly there's this little thing like crying all the time or sleeping or wanting something, and then of course the evolution and the growth of child is it's amazing to follow, but it's also really taxing, and my fitness level and basic overall like body composition and so on, it went really like downslope when the baby was born. But after 2 years, made some adjustments, and it became easier, and like whole nights and so on. But you bounce back from that, so I wasn't really like worried about that because I knew it was like part of that, and your hormones change. It's not that much of a testosterone anymore. It's more of estrogen, like binding hormones, oxytocin, and so that you create this family bond. So you have to take each part of your life wherever you're at, like, and enjoy that, and do what's available there, and things change and children grow, and suddenly you have more time for yourself, and then you miss "Oh, I wish she was younger," and can go like that. And but what comes to your point in training outside, that was also a radical shift for me, like when we moved into like a private house with a big yard. So I began like getting equipment outdoors, like multiple sandbags, like kettlebells, and I have a rowing machine outside, and even like weightlifting bars. And so I do almost all of the stuff outside, even in the winter. I have a weightlifting bar there, and a rowing machine, and of course I like to train inside, and I even built a home gym into the basement, but I realized that when the training outside was so fun, I rarely went, to the basement. Especially in the summertime. Now maybe a bit more, but I still like the feeling of fresh air, and especially when it's not too cold, you get bare feet. You are really connected. You are connected, and it's amazing how much more you can actually do when you go bare feet, because you feel that your energy is circulating a lot better when you're not like isolated with a rubber like shoe or something like that, and you don't get that tired. And the best, as you have the best experience, like workouts are definitely in the summer, in the sun, just enjoying what's going on there.
amazing.
And even if with children, they love to see and copy what you do. So if you have children, just be an example on the lifestyle you have, like from food to having like break for yourself, for meditation, silencing the mind. Of course, the personality of the child might be like super hectic and all over its place. Might be more like chilled, but they learn by example, and the best example is of course you. Yeah.
Yeah, you said it proper because even though I don't have children, for example, one example that I can give you is that when I was going and exercising at the park, there were many children out there because the parents were taking them to play around the park, and they were watching me. I was doing my kettlebell moves, my kettlebell swings, my press, my whatever,
Yeah.
and they were watching me, and it was funny. They were doing the same moves
Mm.
literally
Yeah.
without nothing, and
Yeah.
we are talking about babies now. We're talking about 1 year olds, about 2 year olds, and even some were older, like there were, for example, a brother and a sister, Nikos, and I don't remember the girl's name, and they were like 4 and 7, right? The boy was younger, the girl was the 7 year old, and they were coming to me every time I was there to ask questions. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Why are you doing this, sir?
Yeah.
And all that, and they were calling me sir, which was incredibly funny.
Yeah.
And I was at some point at first I was really excited. At some point it got a little bit tiresome because I had to exercise also. So
Yeah. No.
talking to a 7 year old while doing
Yeah,
it,
I know. They
yes,
speak,
you
they
you
don't
know.
stop. They don't stop. They just speak.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was good because they have, for example, and probably your daughter too. They have something to their memories have something that can, when they grow up, they can go to that memory and remember when it's critical to remember. And I
Yeah.
think there is critical because it's unique what we do. And I don't say this to brag or something, but in this day of age, in our time, training outside without your shirt sometimes and barefoot is seen a little bit as a ridiculous idea.
Yeah.
Still, even though there are people doing it, but still, it's not accepted widely. So I guess that these youngsters now, in 20 years' time, they will remember because it was
Yeah.
unique, and they
That's
might bring the new revelation to the earth.
yeah.
And hopefully everybody is walking around wearing these glasses.
Yeah. What do you see people walking around is like this? They're just like this thing in their
Yeah,
hand, and they miss all the life because of that. So many people are being just used by technology and all the algorithms and their artificial intelligence, how they manipulate people to get more and more and more and more there.
yeah. There's. I'm going to send you offline. I'm going to send you an episode from Crow. It's a radio show that's involved into a few conspiracy theories, and it's fun. It's pretty serious. It's not that weird. And they were talking about specifically about that data, human data, and social media, and how
Yeah.
social media are, created and poised to take your data. That's the main cause, the main maybe purpose, and how they bring psychologists to make them super addictive,
Yeah.
and you basically lose your, not only you waste your time there, and you become not social, so you lose your social touch because we are social animals, as you
Yeah.
probably know very well. And when you start going, as you said, as showed to us, being there with your phone all the time, then you lose the touch, especially if you are a teenager or even a
Mm.
child. That's
Yeah,
even
like the
worse, man.
developing brain, like even until as you're like 23, there's still a lot of development, of course, in the adult years as well with neuroplasticity. But that's the battle, that's the battle, the dark side of technology. It's in itself, it's not good or bad. It's beneficial, but we have to counter that, and that's why also like the natural living is so important. And that's for example, for our view on biohacking, is it's very natural but combining with technology. So combining the best of the both worlds, but not going crazy like without either. So you don't have to like move into the woods and just live there and just hunt and gather. Of course, that's a good skill to have as well, but you can like enjoy being in a postmodern society, having all the stuff that we have. But the danger is going too far and like, you know, with metaverse and virtual realities and whatnot. So I'm not anti anything, but it needs to counterbalance. So otherwise the homeostasis of the whole human race and the society, it goes off the board. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It's what can I say? I mean, we can talk about technology for hours, man. Really, at some point, I think we should do, and I mean this, we should come together, the European biohackers and the European dudes that are into this, and talk a little bit about the dangers of excessive biohacking and excessive technology in general. For example, social media, like you said. And app platforms and all that stuff. I mean, at some point it's getting a little bit too ridiculous, you know. But as you said, some techs, no, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So some things are really useful.
Yes.
But do not go too far.
You know, that's also being some kind of like a leader in biohacking and at the forefront, at least in the Nordic way, try all kinds of tech, like especially when it comes to recovery and especially recovery. So for example, in the evenings, I have this ritual. I usually use infrared sauna. I kind of consider that as a tech. Of course, you can consider like traditional Finnish sauna as technology, but it doesn't require that much tech. It doesn't require electricity at all. Just, you know, stones and this kiuas stove, and then you have water and like wood. So it's basically combining all the four elements and air. But with tech, so infrared sauna, it's wonderful. I really absolutely love it. And part of my ritual in the evenings is I'm having this Finnish invention, this whole body vibration, like this very low level vibration called neurosonic. It's kind of like a sofa type or this divan type of really comfortable place to just lie down and meditate. And once you have like a 40-minute recovery program, that's really helpful for the body. But I like to combine and, you know, stack different stuff. So I have the Sensate. Do you know the Sensate, like the infrasound? This kind of like a portable egg size device that you put on your chest bone that vibrates through like this bone conduction and like kind of activates the vagus nerve, which is the recovery mode nerve. And I love that, and it comes with also like a combination of sound that's in sync with that device. I'm playing around with Apollo Neuro, so that's a wearable device. Looks like this.
All right.
It's a vibrational device.
All right.
There are different kind of programs. You can use it in your hand or in your leg. So I like more like it in the leg, and that's what I also use. And
wow.
I also have like the Viewlight intranasal light therapy device that goes into my nose, and that's an infrared light
into your nostrils. Wow. So okay, you are much more a biohacker than I am. So you are a teacher here. So teach me, please.
Yeah, that relaxes. It has a pulsating 10 hertz light wave and also 810 nanometer light. So basically what it does goes through the microcirculation into your brain and opens up the vessels, which means you have more energy. And I've been using it 5 years now, the same device, and it's really like calming, but also taking the stress, maybe the mental stress, more away in this like physiological fashion. And that's not all. I also used the Neorhythm OmniPemf, kind of like this PMF device that you can put wherever you want on your head, and you have this certain pulsed magnetic field, like waves. And I use like a deep relaxation program, and just before I go to sleep, this deep sleep program. And I know this looks absolutely ridiculous when I'm lying there and having stuff
Not to me, not to
in
me.
my body, and of course blue light blocking glasses. But
yeah.
but that's this combination is it's absolutely incredible in short amount of time how much it can like calm your mind, your body, your stress response, and really shift the state of the nervous system.
You know what? You gave me a pass now. So I was saying before, I was saying before that technology overdoing it might be wrong. But what I'm figuring out as I'm in my early 30s is that stressing about something is probably the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
And relying completely on a technology is also bad. So it's not that the technology you can use, for example, for a few minutes every day or for a few hours even, is bad. But if you stress about it so much, I didn't do my whatever.
I
forgot my nostrils. And I see that to myself. So sometimes I forgot to wear my glasses and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm getting stressed out.
I'm gonna sleep bad now.
Yeah. And then you think you are going to sleep bad, and then you sleep bad, and then you are saying, it was the glasses, of course. But sometimes it isn't the glasses. It's your stress, your mind.
Yeah.
Mind over matter, you know?
Yes, that's how it goes, and the mind sends a signal to your emotional body, which sends a signal to the physical body, and they're like, you have your mental body, you have your emotional body, and then you have your physical body. And our body, it's not just this, flesh. There's a continuum of these different bodies, and then comes astral bodies and so on. But we're not probably gonna go there. So definitely like placebo and nocebo. So you can train yourself in either way, whether it's positive or negative. And if technology causes stress, then it's probably harmful. But if it's more like fun, for me this is a ritual. If I go to my summer cottage, I don't definitely have these with me. Then comes more natural technology, for example, traditional Finnish sauna with ice swimming, combined a few rounds, and that's better than any of these technologies I just described. Having this heat alteration with natural hot and cold, absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, doctor. All right. So you said that you are a doctor, so you are an MD, I guess, right?
Yes, medical doctor. Yeah.
All right. So what led you to be a doctor, and how do you use your profession to improve, people's lives nowadays? So did anything change since you were younger?
Yeah, a lot. The long story short, our family is loaded with doctors, like medical doctors, physicians. And for me, that was kind of like an obvious choice as a profession. I'm really grateful I chose that, even though it was kind of hard to get in to study that, and the 6 years, I was doing a lot of other stuff, partying hard, and the school was, it wasn't necessarily always like the first thing that was like I was interested in. I was more interested in having fun and relaxing and partying, which I'm really like grateful that I've seen also that. And I've been kind of like a hardworking all my life, and when I got to medical school, I immediately got a job at this Finnish Red Cross blood service. So I was like basically collecting and analyzing samples at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then I went to school like multiple mornings. That was kind of hard, and but once I get in there, I got promoted to have this like a medical
lab?
Doing lab, yeah, like even the like at nights I was on call in there and doing like a blood cross examination, and then I sent blood to different hospitals and so on. I did that maybe like 3 years, and ever since we got the first opportunity to go to have a real like doctor's practice after like 4 years of studying, I immediately went into the ER at the hardest place, like the CCU, like the cardiac care unit at the ER. I didn't realize where I went, but that was like super educational, but also very stressful. But I didn't stop there. I just wanted to learn more, even though I was stressed for sure, because I'm pretty like I have a pretty sensitive nervous system, and I sense people's emotions and their like needs and the energy, even though I didn't realize at the point of my life. And from there on, I went into this medical rental firm, which basically led me to go into 50 different places in Finland, like going all over the place and being on call, like as a reserve. And then I got called maybe like a middle of the night. Okay, this morning you gotta go to another city, and there's a flight for you. So that led into like being on stress like 24/7. But of course, I'm really thankful of that, because that led me all to kind of like a spiritual awakening, finding Eckhart Tolle back in 2006 and 2007, and learning new techniques, how to control my nervous system, like meditations, yoga, different kind of things, and like self-improvement and so on. Then from there on, at 2009, I decided, okay, I have to go into more of this private section, because I've seen it all, you know, and prescribing medications and taking 90% patients per day wasn't that what I actually wanted to do. And I've been always interested in nutrition, like from the first day in the medical school, but you don't get teach that at all in there. But, you know, eventually I began like creating my own practice, like in a private medical kind of like place, and having own patients. And from there on, I began building kind of like a name for myself, and more of a holistic and integrated and functional like medicine type of practice. And I did that until 2018, when I like eventually cut off my days in the medical practice, and just concentrated on this our company, the Biohacker Center, and you know, building the company, having multiple like web courses, books, events, and just creating this preventive health care kind of a system. So biohacking is also, you can call it preventive health or preventive health care. There we go.
Yeah. That was with one breath. Excellent. First of all, my deep respect for the profession you chose, even though I don't agree 100% with the modern medical apartheid. I have a few doctors in my family, not many, but I've known, you know, from past girlfriends, I've known from their parents and stuff, and it's a very stressful work, to be honest. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't know it. I was studying civil engineering back in the day, so I know how it is to study a hard thing. Like medicine, civil engineering is hard, but the profession of a doctor, many people blame the doctors, and some doctors are really not very responsible in their practices. They don't really search a little bit more about the nutrition and all that stuff. But I think that more or less we have to give them a leeway, because you guys, when I say you guys, I mean the doctors in general, it can be a very, very respectful and responsible profession that can, you know, carry a lot of weight of the society. So thanks for that. And I just saw you putting on the glasses, so excuse me, but I have to do the same since it got dark here too. So give me a second here.
This is Biohacker's daytime glasses, so this is not really the blue light blockers.
See, these are my bag. I have to order new ones, so I'm going to consult you when we close. I had these ones. I don't know if you can see them. These are the classic true dark ones that Dave Asprey used to promote, but they broke in a year. And
Okay.
since then, I was very cheap and I used this one. So
Yeah.
I will ask
Uh,
you, but I like yours, so I will ask you where you got them, right?
yeah. Actually, we make our own glasses.
Oh shit! All
So
right,
this
let us know, man. Let us
yeah.
know since we
This
are
this
getting to the end. Yeah.
this is the biker's daytime glasses. So this is not for the night, but this blocks about 20% of the blue light, but it helps with, watching the screen. If you're watching the screen all day, it kind of cuts off the flickering, like the 50, 60 hertz flickering. And now, I'm having these like super bright lights here, and it's a bit stressful for the eye. So I just felt like, okay, now it's good time to have these on. And in addition, we have the bikers like evening glasses that you put on your face maybe 2 hours before going to sleep. So that's what I use in the evening. They're a bit more slimmer and have like a darker like this frame, but they cut off 100% of the blue light. And they can also be used as sunglasses if you'd like. Of course, you can get these both in as a combination, and so that's the stuff.
Yeah, and that's awesome. So I'm going to put down below the links, your
Yeah.
company, your e-shop, whatever you have, guys. And are you now in partnership with Teemu? Are you two guys together?
Yeah, we founded the Biohacker Center back in 2015.
All right.
So we've been doing this stuff together for a long time, and actually back in 2013 when we met first, and we began writing the Biohacker's Handbook in 2013, first in Finnish, and it got published in 2016 in Finnish, and now 2019 in English, the Biohacker's Handbook. So that's kind of the Bible for biohacking, and kind of like a missing manual for the human body. So that's how we describe it. If you want to, just improve the basic aspects of your life, from nutrition to movement, exercise, to your work, to your sleep, to your mind. So basic elements, and I wish I had that book when I was younger, just learned how this body works, how our system works, what's actually good for us.
But when you were younger, you were busy partying, so you would probably not even read it.
Yeah, of course I was doing bodybuilding, and training, physical training has always been there. And of course the diet or the food I ate back then was a lot different than it's now. And
Broccoli, chicken, and rice.
yeah, tuna, cottage cheese, oatmeal, this basic stuff, and lots of alcohol. You'd be like super surprised how much medical students actually party and drink. That's ridiculous.
Amazing.
I don't know
Amazing.
how it's nowadays, but it's
Well,
it's ridiculous.
let me tell you that I've met a couple of female medical students in the past. So trust me, I got a
Yeah,
taste.
yeah,
At least here in Greece. All
yeah.
right.
Maybe it's the stress, but it's back in the days I didn't know about meditation or breathing practices or alcohol and hanging out with friends, music. That was the thing to de-stress or de-stress. that's what you think.
To conclude, really, the youngsters of the today, they have both new obstacles and new opportunities. We didn't have their obstacles, but we didn't have also their opportunities, to be honest. So they have to choose right. So it's every generation has that same conundrum. So yeah, you got better tech, better information as we go on since the past 80 years, but with that comes responsibility to handle the information properly. And I hope they made the proper decision because our children are going to live with them. Let's hope that it's going to be a better world than we have today. And when I say today, I mean today, literally today.
Today, it's definitely the world is different, and the evolution, the phase of evolution, and it's not linear. It's exponential, and it's even time, even the phase of the time it's not linear, you know. Our mind likes to think, okay, now it's 2022, last year was 2021, it was 1 year phase, but for me, for example, last year felt like 5 years, maybe 10 years ago, like how much stuff is happening in that like chronological time. So the actual realization or the experience of time, it's changing all the time. So that's kind of interesting, and I'm really interested to see where we go and how weird all this stuff goes. Like now there's a metaverse, like artificial intelligence, virtual realities. What's the limit? Being an observer, not being like sucked into any like these things is a wise thing. And to conclude our conversation, having good grounding, having good connection with the earth and the nature and the natural environment, it's really critical at these times.
100% agree with you about time not being linear. It's a weird thing, time. So Olli, since we are ending this beautiful chat, where can people find you?
Yeah, we arrange, of course, Biohacker Summit. We have been arranging that since 2014. And the next one is in Helsinki, Finland, next June, or this June, 3rd and 4th. This June, I'm pretty sure that in the summertime, all the restrictions and travel it's been made really easy. That's my intuition about that. So that's a huge gathering of fellow biohackers from
Amazing.
Like 30, 40 different countries. And biohackersummit.com, more information about that, and where you can find our books, courses, all the products. You go to biohackercenter.com or shop.biohackercenter.com. But if you just go to biohackercenter.com, you can find it all there. And we have a couple of Instagram accounts at Biohacking Book. That's the main Instagram account, and of course at Biohacker Summit. And I have a personal, more of a like fun place for me at Olli Sovijarvi, So that's my personal Instagram account. I don't really use Facebook like at all, but in Instagram you can find my workouts, every now and then, and all kinds of fun stuff, imitations, some music. I also do like DJing and electronic music, a lot of nature stuff, and me like throwing sandbags in the grass.
Yes.
Or in the jungle where I'm at the moment.
You are literally a Finnish guy with a background of a jungle. So
yeah,
if that's not really weird. But other than that, this was a beautiful chat, man. Bye guys. I hope you liked this episode. I liked it for sure. So see you in the next episode from the Hellenic Goof. And Olli, ciao everybody.
Evkaristo.
Oh yes.